Good morning, everybody. So, we had again very nice prayer. I was listening how beautifully you were conducting your morning prayer. So, this moment we have just finished the formal prayer. We'll just reflect upon where we have left yesterday, how we prepare ourselves to become man or woman of prayer. Where do we begin, or what are the simple basis of prayer as I look at it? Okay, so yesterday I told you we begin looking at the other. Begin to look. And how do you feel as you look? You should feel compassion, I said, because that compassionate feeling within us form the content of prayer with that invisible God. So when you begin to look and you begin to experience this capability of looking, you can look at the invisible God. Even you can look at events. You can look at situations. You can even look at the heavenly beings. Okay. So I like to push a bit more further that how to prepare ourselves for prayer. You need another enlightenment that coming out of this practice of looking. So when you begin to look, what is the realization that come about? You begin to realize that you are not alone in this world. You are not alone. If you are alone, you cannot pray. So one of the foundational experience of prayer or practicing prayer or preparing ourselves for prayer is the simple philosophy that I am not alone. I'm not alone. That's a deep conviction. That is the conviction that we gain by practicing this looking at the other. We begin to see there is other outside, not only me. There are so many things. Everything begin to come. Then you begin to relate to the other. And that relationality, that movement or that dynamism that moves from you to the other forms preparation for actual or formal prayer. So if you are not experiencing the dynamism from you to the other, you cannot become a man or woman of prayer. Because by looking and feeling compassionate, you should form the conviction that you are not alone in this world. If you are alone, you cannot pray. So praying is a kind of dynamism towards the other, whatever may be the content of that relationality. But understanding the other, acknowledging the other outside of me and relating to that, the other forms the conviction of prayer that I can relate. I can relate. Then gradually relating to the other, this visible other, will be sensitive enough to relate to that invisible God, that invisible beings, or that whole realm of prayer. It's an amazing journey. But it begins from the deep conviction that I am not alone. This is usually practiced in our evening prayer and so on. No? When the family members come together, then when we begin to pray and we acknowledge the other. That's why it's very important to have this family prayer, praying with the other, this liturgical prayer, all become amazing preparation or occasions where you realize that you are not alone. Suppose you are alone, some people will say, like once I was in a retreat and the participant begin to complain that you are only teaching us Bible, you are only asking us to sit in the chapel. I thought I can spend some time with myself. So I thought prayer is spending some time with myself. That is the whole problem. If you are spending time with yourself, then you are not relating to any other. That is a false spirituality. A spirituality of even Jesus coming down and relating to the other. It is acknowledging the other, the other. Then I come out from myself and try to relate to my life partner, to my children. So this week or this today, and when you meditate and so on, not only look, you add one more dimension into that preparing side. While looking, you try to relate. Maybe it may be smile. No? When you look at your life partner, just smile. It may be strange to her. No? You look at your community member and smile. No? Try to relate. Don't avoid their presence. The cat, the dog, or many vegetable gardens, or all those vegetables, or all that plants in the gardens. Try to relate now. Try to relate to your neighbors. Try to relate to the shop that you go. Look at them and consciously try to relate. You will begin to see that in this world you are not alone. There is a whole lot of people all around us. And that understanding that I can relate, I never hide from them. I will not withdraw myself away from them. No, you cannot do that. But if you practice this capacity to look, then to relate that realization that I am not alone, then what are things are there? It can be even a mountain, it can be a tree, it can be a person, a stranger, and so try to relate. And if you are not able to relate to a plant or a cat or a dog or your own family members and so on, how on earth you are thinking that you can relate to God? Practice, na? Look and form the conviction that you are not alone. Then begin to relate to the other positively. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.